Huh, now that was just weird. Wi-Fi should really lay off on the drugs. Anyway, have you guys ever made a decision in a match based on the opponent's nickname? Because I did right here. So Cman has this Drapion he likes to bring called Riptail, and I see this penguin's name is Riptide. I have Toxic Spike, Scarf Head Nidoking, which I love, but because of the threat of Drapion or another poison type, I'm not sure if I want to set him up. But I don't think that he's going to have Riptide and Riptail on the same team, right? So I decided, okay, I'm just going to go for the Toxic Spikes, and hopefully he does not have that. Otherwise, I could have easily Scarf Earthquaked and possibly taken out the Penguin, but I don't like getting choiced into EQ in general. And, yeah, wow, good voice crack there. But anyway, both layers of Toxic Spikes have been now set up, and he may not know that I'm Scarfed since Nidoking is faster than the Penguin, and he got in that one on a switch, so could potentially still be disguised, but if he's seen any of my previous stuff, he knows I'm Scarfed. So I go to Shademan to take Earthquake or any other physical attack, and he has Rock Climb, which is a Cman move, which should not be a Cman move, because A, it has a chance to miss, and it will miss on Cman when he uses it, and B, it has a chance for hacks, which will only let Cman down. Unfortunately, neither of those things occurred right there, so he's like, what is that X? No, X-Man is another guy that I know, so I was thinking like other position from the alphabet. But anyway, let's just call Cman Sypher from now on, and that'll alleviate all letter-based concerns. So I sent in Fori because I was thinking back to the match I had against Xerxes, wherein Fori completely walled Tauros, and that was pretty good. And he sends in Togekiss to Flamethrower, which I know it's going to do. Although Cman/Sypher recently told me that someone on Abra's Asylum thought that Flamethrower Togekiss was stupid, and I don't know if he just preferred Fire Blast or whatever, but Flamethrower Togekiss is pretty sweet, especially with Serene Grace. I know, however, that Togekiss is not manly enough to live a head smash, so I'm just gonna headbutt its weak punk face, and the bird plane with now a big hole in its hull has now been capsized, or not that's a boat, shot down out of the arena or whatever. Anyway, so at that point I was thinking that for some reason it would be good to have King kill himself, because apparently I didn't think Scarf Head Smash was a good enough thing to be stuck on, but it is, so whatever. He taunts me, and I don't really know why, unless he's predicting Toxic on Zapdos, which I have considered, because that's pretty sweet with Pressure, Stall, Roost, and Toxic. But I don't currently have one like that, so oh well. Hit him with HP Water. If it was HP Ice, it probably would have killed, right? Oh, actually, no, it would not have, because this thing has a Yache Berry, so HP Water is the better on it. So I flinched because he feels like doing a little bit more hacks, but that's okay. And a little bit more Ice Fang, which does about the same amount, so that's good that it didn't like knock me down too far. I think I am actually at enough hit points right now to live a Stealth Rock switch in, albeit barely, like with just a few hit points. I don't have a... Oh, actually, I do have a calculator handy as this Raikou switches in, and I predict it to be Physical Raikou because of a previous vid I saw, I think somewhere, I'm not sure where. Also, this guy takes 79 points from Stealth Rock, so yes, I would have lived a switch in. Anyway, due to predicting Physical Raikou, and because it is Raikou in general, as we see my emote slip there, I switch out to Shademan, and who completely nullifies the Spark, and that's cool. I want to Roost in case he wants to Crunch or do some other physical attack, and he goes back out to the lead. Oh, by the way, about those emote slips, this is going to be the last battle where I use those. I have a new set of them that I recently printed off, and they're going to be debuting in, I think, Partial 7 against Gold Rules, which is going to be a doubleheader, so check that one out. Anyway, I could easily stay in predicting Stealth Rock and Earthquake him, which would possibly kill with Stab, but I wouldn't have anything left to accomplish there. And also, I think he has Aqua Jet, or at least after this next move, I think that he has Aqua Jet, as he goes now for Swords Dance. And now I remember that it's SD priority Empoleon, with Stealth Rock no less. So I blow away the Stealth Rock. He'll probably set up Stealth Rock here, so I can either EQ or set up my own Stealth Rock. Right now, I'm not sure. Well, now I know he's going to hit me from the physical side, so I want that thing dead right now because I don't want to leave it hanging around. And luckily, I'm able to 2-hit KO it. And I think I'll just go ahead and go for another one, as after this thing is gone, I can spin and SR as I like on something else. But Stealth Rock takes it down. His other move is Drill Peck, which is not Stab for some reason, because Empoleon could be like any of 4 types. He is Water and Steel. He could be Ice because he's a penguin and he lives in Antarctica. Or he could be Flying because he's a bird, even though he can't fly because penguins can't fly. But Dodrio is an ostrich, and ostrich can't fly, but Dodrio can learn HM2 flies, so Pokemon doesn't make sense. He sent Centauros because he feels more like doing some Xerxes rematches, and I set up stuff on him. I think I set up SR and also got the spin off. So now I just go out to Shade Man to completely wall him, and at some point he went for Stone, or maybe that's something else. No, okay, now he goes for Toxic, which, as I was saying earlier, Toxic on a sweeper is something that I enjoy doing because they send in a wall, and unless it's a Steel type, it gets poisoned, and then that's good because Toxic on walls is good to put on them. But he ends up to go out to Fortress as his last guy, which is why I went for Ice Fang, because I did not know what his last guy was. I was expecting a Flyer, and missed the Ice Fang, and that's why I got hit by a Toxic, or something happened that wasn't good. But anyway, I got a critical hit there, which was, at the time, I thought not needed, because of the next guy that's about to come in. But as it later turns out, it was possibly needed. So pretend he's at about 75%, and I don't know if this next move would have killed. It's Commando Man again, as in the previous match, because I didn't completely change my team. And fortunately he does Payback instead of Explosion, like I was kind of expecting. I really didn't think he would go for EQ, and I wasn't sure about Gyro Ball, but anyway. Fire Punch, and he actually has Aquaberry Fortress, so I know Aqua Scizor is fairly sweet, especially with Technician Natural Gift. That's pretty cool. But I don't think I would ever use Aquaberry Fortress. I don't know. And I guess it has the uses, but didn't even live a Fire Punch at half health. So I don't know. I guess it works though, especially if you have some special defense investment for living weak flamethrowers. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, the rest of the match is pretty much just going to be Shade Man stalling people out with stuff because he's got this guy who is normal poisoned, and then the Raikou has been toxic poisoned. So yeah, I can probably just sit in here and roost all day, and that will finish things off. I also have a Choice Banded Sceptile to kill this Raikou with, so I wasn't really concerned with it at all. Unfortunately, oh, look at that, I got Sandveil Hacks. It actually ends up to be HP Grass, by the way, so that possibly would have 2-hit KO'd, I don't know. But anyway, good game, Cman. I guess the previous one we can allocate to your column, although it was a DC, so meh. And this one actually somehow ended up being a 5-0, in which case he did not kill any of my guys. King suicided himself, and that was the only kill, so cool. Anyway, I should have some more matches up against people from Xerxes Zat, and then Internet Retirement is starting soon. So if you want to battle me, do via PM, etc., such that I will actually be able to look and see that you requested to battle me, which would be funs. And also, yeah. Okay, so later days, people.